they'll lynch you. But he did, and he laughs at
Hi everybody, Russ on the West Ham Network. Hope you are all safe and well. If you're new around here, give it a like, give it a comment, give it a share, and give it a bloody good subscribe. Happy Monday. Hope you're all safe and well. Yeah. A point. Respect the point. But 2 points lost. 2 points lost, I think. In my humble opinion, 2 points lost rather than necessarily 1 point gained. But you know, at the end of the season, might make all the difference. As I said, if you're new around here, give it a like, give it a comment, give it a bloody good subscribe, and all that good stuff. We are on the road to Liverpool on Wednesday. Wednesday evening UK time, so we'll have all the previews and stuff like that. Then we've got quite a weekend really, because we don't play until the Monday with Bournemouth. So yeah. Anyway, I hope everyone's safe and well. Adam's in the chat. Good afternoon to you. 2 up, 2 down. Hope you are well, my friend. All good in the hood, I hope. Who else we got here? Let's have a look. Chef Scott. Check on, Chef. Hope you're well, my friend. Nice to see you. You're on 5 likes, says John Hand. Very good. Thank you very much. Toby, hope you're well. Andy's here. Freema's here. In the words of Big Sam, respect to the point. Well, it wasn't fantastic, but the performance was promising. Seeing the glory in fits and starts. Thank God Bournemouth aren't playing well. Lol. Yeah, Gary O'Neill coming back to his old club. Super Gary O'Neill. London's in the chat. Hope you're well. Liking and sharing means caring, says John, the Chelsea fan. Hope you're happy. You won. Was it 2-0? Well done, son. Good evening, Darren in Thailand. Hope you're well too, my friend. Hammer's headlines tonight, we'll be talking about maybe some boosts, not the chocolate, but maybe some injury boosts ahead of Wednesday's game away to Liverpool, particularly the central defence. But check that out at 5 o'clock tonight, as well as a potential in and a potential slight fly in the ointment maybe in terms of January, in terms of our spending. What we got to say? Good afternoon. Simon. Hope you're well. Chelsea fan again. Sorry, I've not stopped in the last 4. I'm down to 1, Chef. Unbelievable. Yesterday felt like a loss. Should have taken 3 points. I totally agree. Oh, mate, I can't get rid of it, mate. Can't get rid of it. It's crazy. Did you see the woman boxer against Villa on Saturday? Yes. Sent off, didn't you? And then Paul Konchesky got sent. Did Paul Konchesky get sent off as well for the aftermath? Yeah. All kicked off at the Villa. West Ham women versus Aston Villa women's match away on Saturday. We won 2-1, but we went down to 10 men at the end, which was quite interesting. Anyway, what happens, what we do on a Monday, the day after the night before, is we give you guys, we talk about the game, we go through some of the players, give you the ratings, you give me your ratings, you vastly disagree with mine, and that's it. It's simples. So, as I said, we do the ratings. Let me bring up my bit of paper. Where's my bit of paper? There we go. I've got my bit of paper. So that's what we do. So let's start with, as we normally do. 10 women. You're right, Peter. You're totally right. 10 women. Sorry, do apologise. And Kate's probably watching. Kate Longer is big fan of Kate's, friend of the channel. These points were missing out on the lower league club. Some same old and could cost us indeed. Looks like Simon and Scott are out from dinner tonight. Soucek was a rugby tackle, was more of a penalty than last week. Still some penalty. I totally agree. He's just a shitting and wanted to kick their asses indeed. Can Russ guess where we're off to? I reckon you're going for a nice Ruby Murray. Ruby Murray's Monday. Ruby Murray curry. Probably shouldn't say it, but shame on people for slagging off CFL on social media. Not the way to go about it. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I'm a sort of... It's never nice, but people have a right to talk about, people got a right to slag me off. And I won't, but I think it's... When it's in relation to a tweet that is more positive then fair enough. Then maybe he was right to delete it. But I understand both sides. I understand people want to vent their anger, but I think it's the way of going about it. So it's a bit. It was to get to a point where when it's vile, I don't agree with it. But sometimes I think people have a right in terms of people here have been a bit, people here call out Moisey all the time, and so it's the world we live in with social media, isn't it? Unfortunately. James Hope, good afternoon to you. VR was used up last. Well, I think we've used up our luck. Yeah, you're totally right. Point is, I suppose, but that was a shocking referee. We're lucky to get that indeed. Close Chinese more important. All you can eat Chinese, very good, very good. What were they saying? They were calling out. Soufal said something like working together, and they said, "Oh, we'd be better if you were in the team," and yeah, it's just not very nice, to be honest. Anyway, let's start with Mr. Where is it? Where's my... Oh, God, it's all gone to pot. Let's start with Fabianski. Let's start with Mr. Fabianski. What are we thinking about Fab? Let's give you my thoughts, and then I'll take your comments and take your thoughts and take your scores out of 10. No half points, remember. Has to be a full mark. Obviously, he had a midweek rest. Ludders mentioned that the other day in the chat. In the comments to one of the videos. Midweek rest. He was back in goal. Do you know what? I thought he was superb. I thought he was really good. He made, particularly in the first half, some really important saves. He kept us in that game, really. There was one of Che Adams, one of Armstrong. There's one of El Nuzri, I can't pronounce it, Mohamed El Nuzri. And then the second half, again, some great saves. I don't think he was at fault for the goal. I thought he played a really good game. Again, sometimes his distribution isn't great, but I don't think Areola's distribution is particularly good either. But I thought he played quite well. I thought he played really well, actually. There was plenty of really good things to come. What we got here? No one had a right to make hateful remarks. Unfortunately, people do, don't they? People do, unfortunately. I think when it comes to the point of it gets personal, then that's when it's a no for me. Fab's 8, 7, 8, 7, 8. Yeah, it's not nice to see, but let's be honest, if certain Mister makes a missed pass, the entire population of slams in, it just contradicts themselves. Yeah, but I think in the same way, everyone has the right for an opinion, Scott. But I think when sometimes, I love Fornals, but if he doesn't play well, I call him out. And I think it's having that balance. It's like if you say Benrahma, I'm not necessarily his greatest fan, but when he plays well, I say he plays well in the same way that I think if Soucek doesn't play well or Soucek plays well, I'll say that as well. And I think as long as there's a balance to it, it's fair enough. It's when there's no balance to it. It's either everything someone touches is gold, and then as soon as you criticise someone, they go, ah! That's what I don't agree with. Important saves, 7, 8, 7. Whereabouts do you think West Ham will finish? I think top 10. 8th, I reckon. Afternoon, Rich. Hope you're well. Russie B has given Fabianski an 8. He was my star man. Which might surprise you. But I thought he was bloody good yesterday. I really thought he kept us in that game quite a lot, considering we had a makeshift centre-back pairing, or makeshift defence, really. A lot of defence which has played 90 minutes on Thursday. Wasn't ideal, but I thought he did very well, to be fair. I still got Vlad. Obviously, it's his first league appearance, first league start, rather, since the international break. Obviously, we had to shuffle the pack. Tilo has been playing in that right back, so I think he's been playing very well in that right back sort of role. Obviously, they moved Tilo into more centrally, and obviously it came with a formation change as well. And actually, I was listening to Gio. He did a really good piece this morning, actually, on Hammer's Chat, saying how he doesn't like the formation because we haven't got a right wing back. And, Soufal is not a right wing back. He's a good right back. He's a great right back, he's strong, doesn't necessarily, his attacking isn't as great as it has been. But he's not a right wing back, whereas Emerson is more of a left wing back, but not necessarily a left back. And I thought that made perfect sense. I think when they did in the second half, when they moved back to a back four, he was a lot stronger, but it was just his crossing. It wasn't great yesterday, and I think with a wing back, you need to be good defensively and be good offensively as well. And he only really did 50% of it, in my feeling. Point away from home, full fullbacks indeed. 6. What's the fans bashing Soufal? I thought he played very hard and makes some good questions. Yep, 7. Yesterday again. Tries too hard, possibly. Definitely not a wing back. 5. I'll give Mad Vlad a 7. Some good footwork, got some dangerous free kicks, also available to give the ball to. Not great, but good. 5. Fabs is a good keeper, he is. 6. 4 fullbacks on the pitch, gave them the death spirit there indeed. 6 from Ludders. Rusty B has given Soufal a 6 as well. I thought it was, wasn't the greatest game, but it certainly wasn't the worst game for him. Let's talk about Ben Johnson as well. Again, played 90 minutes, last week, on Thursday rather, with about 3 or 4 different centre-back partnerships, and acquitted himself quite well, I thought, for a young lad. And again, was put in the start again, and played for the duration. I thought he didn't stick out like a sore thumb. I thought he positioned himself quite well. He always does, I think, to be fair. Made himself harder to beat, sort of after moving centrally towards the end of the game. I thought he was stronger there. But to be honest, I think for his future, he needs to move more into the centre-back positions, because with Tierlo, with Ashby hanging around, with Soufal, with England, there's a lot of right backs, and I don't think he's going to get a look in, really. There's a lot better right backs in front of him, but I thought he did really well. Scott, Swiss Army knife. He really is. I thought he played very well. I'm going to give 10 to spite the numpties. 5, one of his worst performances. Didn't win a 50-50, a rare off day. See, it's interesting, different views. Ludders 7. Ben given a job he's not suited to, did overall, and you slot him in. That is a real attribute in being able to do that type of thing, to be able to be a squad player. But sometimes you need to just say, I'm a right back or I'm a centre back for your own benefit, rather than be a bit player. And I think that's what Johnson needs now. He needs to go, right, okay, I'm going to play right side of the back 3 when you play it. Done. And then that's it. Johnson a bit overhyped, says Toby. 7 isn't centre back. 5 tried to fill in. 6, 7. Russie B gives Benny Boy Johnson a 6 as well. Let's move on like Donkey Kong. Let's talk about Thilo. Thilo Kehrer obviously rested in midweek. He was Moyes alluded to him as in the Southampton pre-match press conference as the situation. The Thilo situation was a precaution. So everyone was like, what happened? Why was it a precaution? But he returned to play the German international in the sort of middle of a centre-back 3. We know what he brings. He's very comfortable on the ball, very strong defending. I think I prefer him maybe in a 2 rather than as a 3. So I think he just offers a bit more, but he's needs must at the moment. It'd be interesting to see what happens, hopefully on Wednesday, if Zuma and Dawson are, well, they're 75%, I think both of them on the Premier Injuries website, of being available. How that would impact when we go back to a back 4, or whether he sticks with a back 3. Particularly Liverpool beating Man City at home, they're going to have their tails up, aren't they? So it's going to be interesting what happens. But so for me, I think he always plays well. He doesn't seem, he's very calm. He's a good leader on the pitch. He shouts about, you can see that. And he's got qualities, a German international, you know what I mean? So, TLO 7, Russ, Ashby is off either Jan or end of season. We'll see what happens. 7, very passionate early on in his West Ham career. He certainly is. He's getting himself into a nice frame of mind, isn't he? 6, a tough one to judge. And as Anne Robertson once said, statistically, the worst player first half, but second half he was fantastic. There we go. 6, struggled first half in the 3s. Recovery speed is ridiculous. I think that's something we miss tremendously across our back line, is pace, and he's got it in abundance. It's probably, I think Anton mentioned it, it's probably our smallest defensive unit in terms of height-wise for many years, and we coped that quite well because obviously Southampton didn't have a Brozier or someone like that. They had quite small, nimble players. That actually probably worked quite well for us in a weird way. Has got more than sniffles, has had them as well, and was on the bench, whereas wasn't, and was supposed to be isolation. But Antonio's a week behind. Antonio was a week ahead, wasn't he, in the sniffles? Because he had the sniffles and he wasn't going to be playing on Wednesday, but Zuma did, so it was almost like that type of thing. So I think he's just got the sniffles. He's a lot better at right back, but due to injuries, he can do good job better. And he prefers to play centre back. He does right back, but he's much better right back. 666. Russie B gave him a 7 because I thought he led the back line very, very well in very difficult circumstances. We seem to be struggling with threat. Oh, well, yeah, Dan Fandango. He said on Twitter today, we were really good at set pieces once, weren't we? What the fuck happened now? Don't know. Aaron, but don't forget we didn't have people like yesterday. We didn't have the likes of Dawson and Zuma and big boys up, big boys from the back. We had quite a small side, but we still weren't even hitting the first man. All we kept doing was hit the first man. Really strange. Aaron Cresswell, obviously, he was captain midweek, and I thought he played really well as a really attack-minded centre-back. I think it's great having him in a back three because he's got the temperament and he's got the experience as a left-back, so he wants to get forward. So actually, we were overloading that left-hand side against Anderlecht, and I really like that as an option. And yesterday he sort of moved into he started as a back four, but then went to a back three, and then went back to back four later, didn't he? Lots of defending to do early on, some good saves, some good tackles, some good blocks. Got forward a lot, particularly in the second half. Caused some really real problems. I mean, his crossing is one of the best crosses we've got, I think, in the squad, and played a massive role in Rice's goal. He seems to be hitting a bit of a good vein of form at the moment. In all honesty, I think he's great. No Dawson, no win. Cresswell solid. Delivery poor through a 6. 7, 7, 7, 7, 8. Created a lot of chances. Scott's man of the match. Russie B gave the man of the magic hat a 7. I thought he played a very good game, and the last couple of games he's really hit a vein of form, which is really nice to see. And I think it's because we're mixing up the formation a little bit. For me, he hasn't got the pace of a left back. It is a real shame because he's still got the quality. So as a back three defender, he plays. That's his position. But then we haven't really got a right wing back, so that's the trouble. It's like one hand giveth, the other taketh away. Cress has been our best fullback lately. Cress 8, silencing the haters. Cresswell has lost his pace. Tilo was covering him as well. He was, yeah. He was. He really was. And that's a shame, isn't it? Because he's been such a good player for us. Let's talk about Mr. Declan Rice, shall we? Let's talk about Dex. Pardon me, bit windy pops. Bit of windy pops, do apologise. Where's my notes? Obviously, had to, playing off the bench midweek. We ideally would have given him a rest. And adapted again, showed his adaptability to end up coming on and playing in the back three like he always does. He just slots in wherever. Always keen to make a difference. Always keen to get on the ball. Wanted to move it with purpose. He loves that. He loves the sort of the cross-field ball, and is always looking for that forward pass now. Where previously he might have been considered a bit of a sideways ball merchant. Now it's not. Now it's about Bosch. Let's get these balls across. I'm just going to blow my nose. Let me just mute you. Otherwise, if you were listening to headphones, it would have blown your ears. Right, but obviously he scored a great goal. First goal of the season was due a goal. Lovely little intricate passing. It's his first goal since April, when we won in Lyon, I believe, and he's first in the league since October last year, which I know it's an area of his game he wants to improve, and hopefully, I think, a little tweak here, a little tweak there, he will improve that a lot better. Everything that decent happens comes through him. Everything that decent comes through him, doesn't it? What we got here? We got 8 for kissing the badge. 8, but scoring that. 9, says Ludders, saved us from defeat with a goal. No one else was going to score 8. 8, man and match. Captain Marvel. Still haven't seen tackle in the last 6 months, but everywhere he had a great goal. He intercepts now. Do you know what I mean? It's like the best. It's for me. It seems you look at the best defenders in the world. They don't tackle anymore. They just read the game and intercept it. Modern players don't really tackle. Like proper tackle. Sometimes Dex does it, and he just to get a yellow, just to get the crowd going. But yeah. 8. First half, trying to add cover to the fullbacks. Indeed, 8. I give Russ a 9 for blowing his nose without the sounds. You see, thank you. I appreciate it. 9. Rusty B gave him a 8. An 8, an 8, an 8. Let's move on like Donkey Kong and talk about Tomas Soucek. Now, I mean, people. I was online. People blaming him for the goal, but his clearance wasn't great. But I wasn't really blaming for the goal. Arguably, maybe Bowen's lack of anticipation may have been worse, to be honest. But anyway, he made some good tackles. Tried to get forward. Tried to show some attacking intent, and likes break. He tried to keep, but he hasn't got the skill set in terms of distribute the ball hard as a Declan Rice does, for example. Okay, an okay performance. Nothing sort of out of the world, nothing worldy about it. But he didn't have a crap game. Do you know what I mean? I didn't say he had a game calling for his head, but I thought he played okay. He played okay. Nothing special. But yeah. I mean, I was happy with his performance, but yeah, just did the basics well. Potato Muncher 3, play downs 3. Play downs Wednesday 8, 7, 6, 6 for Tatty. Tried a few field passes, came obsolete when the new players come in, but still a good player. 6 has been better of late. 5, 6, 7 does the ugly stuff as per usual. And do you know what I think it is? That's a good point, actually. I think with the new players coming, with the Cornets, with the Paquetas, the Scamaccas, we're becoming a more technical side. And actually, it maybe highlights the fact of Soucek's lack of technical ability. And that's why maybe he's sticking out a bit more. Where beforehand we had quite workmanlike players, maybe, and they'd roll their sleeves up and get in the way. And West Ham fans loved that. When he got in front of that Tottenham game and he had a bloody nose, but he still jumped in front of the ball. And they loved that. Love the fact that he puts his heart on his sleeve and he's always tops. Of all the running charts and stuff like that. But now we're getting sort of more technical players. Maybe they expect more out of him in terms of technical ability. And maybe that's why we sort of have a little bit of a, looking at Flynn, for example. Flynn's more of a technical player, but he may still have a bit of that grit about him, but maybe not as much as Soucek does, but maybe he brings a lot more ball playing ability. So it might be, that's why there's sort of this weird thing around Soucek internally. I don't know. 6, what you think? VR thinking of seeing that rugby tackle? Indeed. 6, it's a shame that he's reduced doing the dirty stuff. We know what he can do, but what can he do for him? In all honesty, what he was brought in to be was a defensive midfield player, a guy who would break up play and a guy who'd run. That was what Moyes gave the sort of recruitment guys as a sort of a description of the player he wants, and that's what he's got. The goals came as almost like a surprise. And I think it surprised West Ham fans. And I think it probably surprised the likes of Moyes and stuff when he first joined. But that became part of his game. And now that dried up. And then people sort of then looked at his performance. I don't think his performances on paper have dramatically got worse. But I think because the goals, it's almost like we say it in the chat before, don't we, sometimes, where we go, when we say, he's got 7 because he scored, he got an 8. And I think that's with Tomas Soucek. I think maybe we've exaggerated it because he scored a lot of goals in a very short amount of time. He scored quite a few. Now that part of his game isn't there anymore now because people know about his late runs into the box and stuff like that. It's almost like we're trying to, we sort of look back in it. It's like when I remember when like people like Bayern Munich were looking at him potentially, and I never thought he'd go there because he didn't necessarily have the technical abilities to go to a top side. There's a reason why, people haven't come in from either, when he was apparently on the way out, because he does a job very well, but maybe it doesn't in certain teams it works well, but in other teams it doesn't work well. I don't know. I love the guy, but the only thing he's better at, seeing it, is heading the ball. Yep, I agree. Vara answering the doors to the pizza when he did score goals for his home club. He did, but not to the extent of we didn't sign him as a goal scoring midfielder. We signed him as a guy who would break up play and would run all day. Didn't we? Realistically, that's what he said. I was getting players to stay. Now I'm getting players to push for the top 5. Exactly, Toby. And I think maybe Soucek is one of those players who isn't going to get us to the next level. Don't know. Rusty B gave him a 6 as well. Yeah, good. That was a good debate. Let's talk about Bowen. He'd been in good form going into the game. He scored 3 goals in his previous 4 before kickoff. I think Bowen is a victim of his own success in that he wants he waits for the ball to come to him rather than necessarily going to get the ball. You watch him, he'll move onto the right hand side and stay there. A bit that happened similar to Soufal on the Anderlecht game. He made some great runs, but no one was spotting him. He was guilty after Soucek, in terms of people criticise him for the goal, but I think actually Bowen didn't track his man a little bit. So in terms of the long throw-in, didn't have many chances in all honesty today. Yesterday wasn't a great game for him. I don't think he was the outlet. He had pace, quick feet as the game sort of progressed, but not really anything to write home about, I think, with Bowen yesterday. It wasn't his best game. 7, 6. If Cornet was healthier, he would have been subbed. 7. Poor yesterday. I think he was due to Soufal messing up. Yeah, you're probably right, Andy. I mean, I don't think you're surprised that his best couple of games have come when he's had Kehrer with him. I think that's a huge thing. And maybe last year when he was playing well, so was Soufal. So, that might be why. I don't know. What we got here? Bowen 6. Some people think he should have pushed the ref. People want Downs to play for Soucek. I think in the long, he Flynn replaces Deck. You're probably right. Not his best game, but Bowen needs someone like Taylor. Indeed, Rusty B gave him a 6. Same as Toby. P-Cads gave him a 7. He was doing the Home Alone when he was Mrs. Yet. Right, let's move on. Let's talk about Paqueta. Lucas Paqueta. Have I got Emerson? Yeah, I think Emerson's next. Lucas Paqueta, 3rd consecutive start in all competitions for Paqueta. And he's starting in 3 different positions. Which shows his adaptability, which is great. But I want him to, similar to Ben Johnson, to have a position and stick to it and work with that. I know he plays in various positions for Brazil, but he's on the West Ham side now where he can command a position. If it is playing as an 8, it's playing as an 8. If it's playing as a 10, he's playing as a 10. It's great he's got the adaptability, and I think it's great. But again, sometimes I just want him to have a position. He played 10 against Fulham. He played as a false 9 for the Anderlecht game. Sort of played a bit like a inverted left winger yesterday, to be honest. Still in search of his first goal. Came very, very close with that header. Some of his chances are a bit off, but the first half header was very close. He also had the only shot on target prior to the goal, I believe, as well. He was getting more and more in the game, when he drifted into a more central position. That's his position. And you could just see he sort of comes alive when the ball... I think when Benrahma came on, he came alive. I think, he's got someone on his wavelength. And I think the passing... I think Deck can be on his wavelength technically as well. So he's getting better, mate. He's getting better. 8, 7, 7. God, he's good. When it all clicks, he's going to be hard to keep. Yep, 7, 6. Getting used to the league. Class player. And then doesn't suit the left. 6, 7. Love the guy. 8 attempts and goal. Lovely volley through to Scamacca. 7, little for the little ticket. He's trying to drag the rest of the team one-touch football. Paqueta needs to gel with the squad. He's getting there. Soucek was in for heights for defending their corners and free kicks. Yeah, you're probably right. We're quite a small side, didn't we? Rusty B gave him a 6. Who's next? We've got Emerson. Emerson. Where's my notes? Obviously, midweek he got the assist for Jarrod Bowen's 5th of the season in midweek. Third league start of the season. And obviously Moyes utilised him in the left wing back. And as we said, I think where Soufal is not a right wing back, he's a right back. Emerson's the reverse. He's a left wing back. He's not a left back. Good crosses, I thought. Got close to his first Premier League goal early on, but he put the chance just wide after sort of Scamacca did some clever hold-up play, which he did throughout. A bit of a mixed bag. He attempted to... he sort of... He turned his back and missed, like when Paqueta was trying to get something going in the first half. What could have been a really, really good move. He's better when he's going forward, we know that. Less so when defending. And obviously he was the man who was sacrificed at half time to go back to 4 at the back. But I think Emerson's a good player. But I just think again it needs to be in the right position. I've seen several shouts for Antonio as right back. There we go. I thought he looked energetic, made things happen. 7. I'm torn between a 6 or a 7. Definitely upgrade. A 7. I actually gave him a 5, but I'm going to give him a 6. I gave him a 5 because he only played one half really, and he didn't really set the world alight. But we'll give him a 5. We'll give him a 6. 6. Due to 5 at the back. 6. LM8, was the DJ near the Bobby Moore? Was you the DJ near the Bobby Moore stand and other side of the tunnel? What? Mo, I always sit at the top. By the tunnel, over the tunnel with yellow white box, yellow box right at the top. No, that was Big Tone. That's Big Tone. I think you're thinking about. Right, okay. Let's talk about Scamacca. Obviously returned to the starting lineup after playing only the last bit, coming off the bench against Anderlecht. Lots of chances first half, teeing up Emerson maybe right at the beginning. Some great hold-up play. I mean, that audacious effort from like 30, 35 yards almost found the target. Would have been goal of the month at least. Turned well, came close, came very close. I mean, he did everything but score on Sunday. Hold-up play was good. Plenty of chances, but he's got that movement. And do you know what I mean? That's what I've wanted in a forward. He's got real movement, and it's great. He's great. It's a shame he didn't score yesterday, but for me, I think he just needs that. Another day, 2 or 3 could have gone in. 2 or 3 could have gone in. 6, 7. Could have had 5, going to explode soon. Yeah, totally right. 7, 8. Played well, had enough chances. 7. Our Italian attacker. 8 for me. Rusty B gave him a 7, as you said. Didn't score, but did everything but score, in all honesty. And lastly, I'm going to talk about Benrahma. I'm not going to talk about Antonio. Not going to talk about Lanzini. They came off like towards the end, but I want to talk about Benrahma because he made an impact. For me, he came on and as I said in the watch along, if we had played this game at home, I think Benrahma would have started rather than Emerson. In all honesty, he scored that great free kick on Saturday, last Thursday. And it came on, with half an hour to spare to try and get the game back in West Ham's favour. Obviously, we moved from 3 at the back to 4 at the back. And with minutes being on the pitch, he set up the equaliser. Good running down the line. Paqueta comes alive when he's there, I think. Great link-up play with Cresswell, Rice, Paqueta, and obviously Rice with the finish. Surely, if Cornet is doubtful for the Liverpool game, he'll be starting. Surely. Needs to, just to give us that bit of vavavoom. What we got here? 6, 7. My favourite fan. Hope you're up. How did you get to Darlington, Ian? Let me know. 7. 7 should have started, but didn't due to the system. Come on and attacked and terrorised fullbacks. 8. Need to see more of him. 7. That's what I was saying. I'm not his biggest. I know he's a fantastically skillful player, but sometimes the system doesn't work. I mean, the Anderlecht, I think he played fantastically because it was quite an open game. When the game's open, that's when he comes alive. And so, for me, he's so much stronger when it's not a tight game, when we're chasing. So this is what I mean. So it's just a different. Yeah, Sems. Kevin, game of 4. Fair play. I understand why. You've got an opinion. Why 4, Kev? I'd like to be interested to say rather than just 4. Why 4? Because I don't think he deserved a 4. I'm not. I don't. He did. He played. I thought he played all right, but again, you saw something different. So fair play. But I think he did change the game in my opinion. Just say what Alan said. He couldn't get. Oh dear, 2-2. We're up to joint first place. Very good, Ian. I gave Benrahma a 7 because I thought the impact he had was on the side was clear and obvious. And then that gets us all ready to the Liverpool game. So obviously we've got Liverpool on Wednesday night. If you're part of the West Ham Network community, if you're a subscriber, then you can go onto our community tab on the YouTube channel now and vote for who you want to be playing. Who do you want in goal? Who do you want left back? Do you want Benrahma to start on the left side? And then we put all that together as part of our preview package. So we've got loads of stuff coming up, and then just loads. What we got here? Thought Cornet was supposed to have only and hasn't been seen for 4 games. Is it 4 games? Well, it's 2 games, but anyway, you're probably right, those. Russ, you missed my comment. Also, is Anton well? Yeah, he's very well, mate. Hope you're well. A front 4 or Wednesday. Benny Paqueta. Oh yeah. Do you think Moyes is really about with Liverpool away? He's going to play that 4? I don't think so. 2 average is very much a confidence player. Yeah, he is, and I thought he played quite well yesterday. Hope Dawson, you're okay for the Liverpool game. By the way, what are you rating the ref at, mate? He wasn't very good, was he? He wasn't very good at all. Oi, West Ham United. West, I give him a minus score if allowed. Worst of the worst I've seen so far. I don't think it's the worst. I think the Chelsea game is probably a lot worse, in all honesty. Can't believe some of our fans are blaming Sivel. Mo, they'll blame anyone, mate. I don't mind it as long as you don't, as long as it's justified. Do you know what I mean? 6-3-1 at Liverpool, no doubts. Yeah, pretty much. Back 4, Rice and Soucek. Squeeze in that midfield, almost into defence, and trying to counter on the back on the attack. That's pretty much what we're going to do, I think. As I said, if you're new around here, give it a like, give it a comment, give it a share, give it one of those bloody good subscribes. We'll be back. Hammer's headlines tonight, 5 o'clock. Check it out. We had Holly's show on Saturday. Tweet all about it. Check it out as well. And various others, Irish Tommy and stuff like that. We won't be having the old school Hammers on Wednesday because we've got the Liverpool game. But Budgie will still be on anyway in the sort of review show afterwards. But we'll have Irish Tommy, late show on Fridays, that type of thing. All that good stuff. So as I said, who decides to play Liverpool? And I don't know. Don't tell me about it. Tell me about it. Yeah, Klopp is suspended, which is good. Soucek and have been the scapegoats. They have been. Get dosed up. I'm trying. In the first half, I played well. Hampton only to get into the game. And when we were the horrible officiating, worse than Sunday League, it was very bad. But then even was it Declan's goal? He got in the way as well, but he let play go on, which was right. Anyway, I don't know. As I said, if you want to be a channel member, hit the join button, become a channel member. You get into all the prize draws. We'll be having probably another draw this week for our members. So all that good stuff. And until next time, take care, stay safe, stay warm, stay dry, stay positive, keep the faith. 7 points out of the last 9. Not bad at all. Is that undefeated in 5, 6? I'll take that in all competitions. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. Ta-ta. I'm going to go have a lie down. Bye.
It's like a family tree, part of you and part of me. And if we should separate.